Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Dr. Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to the Prelude to Season 7. Yes, I know. I cannot believe that I am already on Season 7. This is year 3, I believe. I lost count. Actually, I think I'm going into year 4. Year 4 of me having the podcast. And so I just wanted to come on really quick as I'm preparing for season 7 and say thank you to all of you who have been writing in. And when I say writing in, okay, that's just like Gen X of me to say like you wrote a letter. But some of you have been inboxing me or DMing me, and some of you have been on the Facebook and also the Instagram page is sending me messages, as well as checking out the website. So I appreciate all of you who have done that. And just keep talking to me. I so appreciate you. I love that you're engaging with me. I love that you're asking questions about life, love, health, wellness, nurse education. Oh my gosh, I had so many questions on just maintaining yourself in nurse education, as well as nursing school, or even as a nurse, if you're practicing as a nurse, an RN, LPN, CNA, medical assistant, even nurse practitioners. So I love it. Just keep it coming. And I also appreciate those who've reached out regarding acting, because you guys know I am an actress as well. And so I love those questions as well. There is no question that I am not willing to answer, to be honest. I'm very transparent in everything that I do. So I'm going to just say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who have taken your time to be a part of the Soul Tribe. And also, I want to thank those who just kind of snip in, snip out, check in for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. 5 minutes is a lot of time. And I value your minutes that you share with me. So, and I just want to thank you for that. And also, if you shared the podcast with anyone, I appreciate you so much for doing that as well. So I want to thank all of you for that. But more than anything, I want to thank my guests. I've had so many guests since I started this podcast, friends, family, people I just met who I thought were so interesting and had a compelling story or just something to share. Either it was about them, their life, their business, whatever it was. But I appreciate all my guests that have come on and, talked. And this was before I even started doing the lives like I have been for the past year or two. I think it's been a past year that I really been focusing on the lives, but also those who were just with me when I just had the audio, and you guys sat with me and talked with me during those times, and I appreciate all of you through all of that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you oh so much. So just keep it coming. For my guests who have been on the show, if you want to come back, y'all know where to find me. Just come on back, because I'm going to say yes, and I want you to come back because we always left something on the table to talk about for when you come back. That's just the way I roll. So definitely bring yourselves on back and join the tribe. You're welcome. Once you're a guest, is rarely a time where I say I don't want you back. And believe me, there are some I probably will not invite back, but for whatever the reason. But honestly, there's not. Yeah, I yeah, there isn't. So there, because I only invite people who are genuine, who are authentic in what they do, who have a story to share, who wants to share their story. Anyone who wants to just talk about life and just living and being a better version of yourself. Those are the people I invite to the podcast. And anyone who is out to better somebody else's life. Yeah. Those are the people that I invite to my podcast. And as small as we are here on the Soulful Eclectic, we're getting bigger and bigger. As you know, we joined the WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV tribe. So there we are. We're more, more and more on TV, and it's international. So if you have friends and family that are in another continent, in another country, they are able to watch us on WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. So then you got that. And I want to share with anyone who is out there that if you have a film or a workshop or anything that you think you want to put out to the masses for free, for pay-per-view, whatever, reach out to us on WUBI.live and we will get back to you for sure. Okay. So there's that. And we're always looking for specialty DJs. So that's always a plus too. So if you have a special genre that you love and you DJ in, by all means, bring yourself over to WUBI. All right. We are a growing network and we would love to see you grow with us. All right. So there's that. Oh my gosh, there's so much. As you always know, there's so much going on in all of our lives. A lot of us are thinking about the election, right? What's going on. And as you know, I don't talk too much about politics, me and politics. Yeah, we talk about what you know. I know a little bit that relates to me and my general needs and expectations, but on a larger global level, I do my research and I just charge anyone out there who is planning to vote, do your research, know your candidate you're voting for, and choose what works for you and what you think you want to see as our future in this country. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not saying yay, nay, what. Mm-mm. Nope, this is not that platform. Just not. We had a lot of lives that we lost during this time of year, which we know it happens. Lives, we're here for a short time, right? So when we're here for this short time, make it a good time. And that's my goal, to make it a good time. So I have a good time here with y'all, right? Talking and engaging with people that I meet around the neighborhood, around the community, around the country. I mean, I've met people from all over. So there's that. Okay, there's that. The other thing, oh my gosh, I have, let me tell you something. This has been a whirlwind of a summer. So I'm just going to run it down really quick because, like I said, this is a prelude into season 7. So season 7 is going to be, I don't want to say monumentous. I don't want to use that term, but it's going to be big. And why? Because I'm going to make it big. I choose to. All right. And I don't mean like big and fanfare, big and all these things. I mean big and more conversations with the community, more conversations with people, everyday people, right? More conversations with individuals who are out there doing the work to better their lives, better their community, better their family. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Make it big, make it monumentous. And also for me, I have, as you all know, I have a plethora of things that I'm doing. I finished my doctorate, so I appreciate all that. Cheers to me. Yay. So this is my husband made prickly pear syrup, right? And like little cubes is awesome. And then I just have like soda water, more seltzer is what I used to call it. But cheers. But anyways, I digress. But yes, so that's monuments to me. So I finished my degree and now I'm just working with a couple of nonprofits doing some things to bring out awareness in the community for healthcare equity, diversity and inclusion in what it is that we do in healthcare. So I'm pushing that envelope as well. As I said, I've been engaging with individuals who have been sending me messages via Instagram and Facebook and talking about healthcare and nursing. And listen, I have so many individuals who are looking to go into healthcare, whether it's a nursing, whether it's being a medical assistant, even CNAs, LPNs, whatever. Someone's going into healthcare. And as you, many of you who know me know, I love healthcare. I love nursing. I love seeing people heal and be well and do all these things. So anytime I get the opportunity to talk about health, wellness, and I'm all in. So having these conversations with these individuals have been monumentous for me. Today, I love that word, monumentous. I don't know what's with monumentous today. But anyways, so it's big. Okay. My vocabulary today might be escaping me for a little bit, but it's a big one. But anyways, I love talking about healthcare, and it just excites me anytime that I can encourage anyone to go into medicine. So I had a very interesting conversation with a young man, and I'm going to share it with you because, as I said, I've again had many engagements with individuals who are looking to become nurses or whatever. So this conversation with this gentleman, he is a EMT currently, and he's a young gentleman, 21 ish. Yes, he is just about 21. Um, and we were talking, and anyone I see in healthcare, I'm going to engage in a conversation. That's just who I am. And then, especially if I see you a paramedic or EMT, I'm like, hey, you ever thought about going to med school? Am I going to here? What's your 5-year plan? I always start with 5 years. And he said to me, he says, oh, I think I'm just going to go get my paramedic and then go be a PA, a physician assistant. And so my mind was like, what? Why would you do that? And I have nothing against physician's assistants. I have worked with plenty of physician assistants. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with physician today, but I have a lot of respect for physician assistants. I just chose not to go that path for many reasons. And so I asked the young man, I said, well, what's your drive? Why physician assistant? Because I wanted to hear, I didn't give my opinion on anything. I just said, why physician assistants? Please share with me what your thought process. And he said, well, because I can be with the doctor and I can do this and I can work in the ER and be here. So when I talked to him, I said, well, why become a paramedic? Why don't you just go become a nurse? Just a little shy of a little bit more time to become a nurse. But I said, why wouldn't you do that? And here's his answer. Wow. He said, I don't want to become a nurse because the nurses I work with in the ER are unhappy and they hate their jobs. And they are very vocal about how much they hate their jobs to the point where they tell him, don't do this. You will hate it. And I looked at him and I says, that's their perspective on their career that they chose, their profession they chose. And he looked at me, he's like, what do you mean? I says, I've been a nurse before. I mean, because those in healthcare know before you become a nurse practitioner, you have to have your RN and work as an RN before you can move on to your nurse practitioner, your NP. So I said, I've worked as a nurse for many years, worked on different units, worked with different people, some good, some bad. You have your niche that you work in and you stick to it, right? So I told him, and I says, you know what? There's never been a day where I can say that I hated my job. Now there are days where I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I wish I could do something else. Yeah, but not one time did I say that I hated being a nurse, that I hated being at the hospital. That not one time. And I looked at him and I said, it's about perspective. I went in every day knowing that at some point I was going to help somebody be better, whether it's one person, two people. Sometimes, you may have one of those days where you don't even get to help anybody. But I didn't do it for recognition. I did it because I enjoy helping people. I enjoy seeing people get better, and I enjoy my job. So he looked at me. He's like, "Wow, I never thought about it that way." I said, "Yeah, it's them. It's not the job. The job is what you make it. If you go in there with that mentality of I hate it, it's going to drag me down. It's going to be a rough day. I got this. Then that's what's going to happen in your day. But if you go in your day, whatever it is that you do, and you're like, this is going to be a good day. I choose not for anyone to steal my joy. I am going to be the best me that I can be today. We're not talking about yesterday. We're not talking about what are you going to do tomorrow. Today, this minute, what am I going to do? It's a choice. I told him, I said, it's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to be negative and not like your job. That is all a choice. And they are choosing to be in that miserable state. And what do you think that does for their patient care, their interactions with their colleagues? It's negative. It's negative. It's a negative interaction. And so now they are spewing their negativity on the rest of their colleagues. And as much as some people don't believe in empath and us absorbing other people's energies, we do. Oh my gosh. And it happens in a split second for some of us. And I'm speaking for me. It happens quickly. Okay, when someone comes around me and they're complaining, they're saying, "Oh, this is sucks. We got low staff. We don't have all the equipment. The equipment is always broken. We don't have meds. We got to call pharmacy." The list goes on. And all of a sudden you find yourself like, "Yeah, you're right. This is a sucky day." And it's like, "No, no, you're not taking me with you," is what I say. Damn it, you are not stealing my joy. I came in here happy. I have my music. I got my patients down here. You go back down there with that negativity because I don't want it. And those who have worked with me know that. I used to come in, okay, so this is going to date me just a little bit, but I used to come to work with my little shuffle. Yeah, the little square iPod, the shuffle iPod, right? The iPod shuffle, the little square one. And I would come in with my shuffle and I would plug it into my little speaker and I would get on my computer on wheels and get my cart and I will go take care of my patients and I'll be dancing in the hallway, doing my thing, taking care of my people. And that's how I carry my day. So that's how I can say to that young man, I didn't hate my job. I love my job. I may have had some animosity toward some of the people I worked with, and I would choose if I could choose to who I work with, I would. But saying that my profession, I did not like my profession, I hated my profession. No, I wouldn't have been in it this long, and I certainly wouldn't be a doctor in it. And this is what I told the young man, and he's like, I you gave me another perspective on it on all of this. You're right. And I said, and not just that, I said, now take it a little further. You become an RN, you can go and be a nurse practitioner. And he looked and he's like, I did not know what is a nurse practitioner. See, knowledge is power, right? He had no idea what a nurse practitioner was and what their capabilities were. So now I'm explaining to him, as a nurse practitioner, you can have depending on where you are located in the world, you can practice independently. You don't have to practice with a collaborative physician. You can write your own prescriptions. You can hang your own sign and have your own business for you solely as a nurse practitioner if you're able to have independent practice in the state in which you live. So that matters, right? And he said, "What? I don't need permit. I don't need to work with." I was like, "No, you don't." And I said, pointed out to my husband. My husband was working with me that night, and I said, "You see that gentleman back there?" I said, "He's a family nurse practitioner." And I mean, when I tell you this young man's face was in awe, he was like, "No way." I was like, yeah, he was a nurse and now he's a nurse practitioner. And that look of, wow, I saw the wheels turning in him as I'm talking to him. And I said, listen, you want to give yourself, do an informed decision when you're making this decision about your life. You want to have all the information. Now, a caveat to this PA business, I know there is legislature in some states that are fighting for PAs to work independently as well. So I do know that there are some states that are working on that as well. So um, just putting that out there. But to me, right now, in the position that this young man was in, I felt like that was the best route. And I shared that information. And, at the end of the day, it's all about choices. And he has a decision to make about his life and his career, where he wants his path to be. So that's totally up to him. But like I said, I always like to give as much information as possible. So, we talked about that. So when I talk about people reaching out and having these engaging conversations about many different things, not just about maintaining your wellness. I mean, we talk about everything, right? And I was specifically talking to him about his career and his journey for that reason. So I do have a scheduled call with him this week, next week, so that we can go see where he is thinking for that. But yeah, so that, and here's the thing, I have a whole business that's derived around just doing that and having those conversations. College education resource management is what we do. We go out, we educate the community about healthcare equity. We educate the community about advocacy for themselves in healthcare situations. We educate students on what to expect in healthcare academia, and also hold workshops on wellness, mind body wellness for us, as we have to maintain our sense of self and make sure our well does not run dry, as we are constantly giving out in the community. So it's just those things that we were talking about and has come across. Now, one of the people that passed away, and I talked about some death, but Dr. Ruth passed away, and I said, "Isn't that uncanny?" I was just talking about Dr. Ruth and me being the next Dr. Ruth and being the sexpert on on hand for different things. And if you guys don't know who Dr. Ruth is, Dr. Ruth, for the I'm going to say late 70s, early 90s, and probably so on, was like the go-to of information when it came to sex education. And I mentioned it because we talked about menopause and women going through menopause and men going through menopause. And part of that is the change in our body during that time. And one of the things that changes is our libido. Sometimes your hormones dip so low that you don't have the urge, you don't want to have sex, you don't want to engage in any type of intimacy with your partners. And that goes for both men and women. So as much as men tend to say menopause is just a female thing, it really isn't. And if you go back and listen to the episodes from season 7, we talked about menopause and for women, and menopause happening in men. It's a hormone imbalance. And once you get to a certain age, your hormones, your testosterone, your progesterone, your estrogen starts to dip. But there are some natural things that you can do. Um, and there's a lot of products out there, as you guys have noticed on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. There's all these things that can increase your estrogen naturally and increase your energy naturally. So I like with anything, before you take anything, whether it's prescribed or over the counter, I always suggest you do your research and know your body and take account to how your body is reacting to these medications as you are introducing them, whether it's a plant or whether it's a plant or herb or it is chemical made in a big plant, not the growing plant, but the factory plant. Uh, you want to do your research with anything. Just don't take word of mouth about different things and just say, "Oh, my sister takes this, so it'll be good for me." Nah, don't do it. Mm-mm. Do your research for yourself. All right, because you and your sister are two different bodies. You have two different makeups, and you have two different things that are happening, and what works for one may not work for the other, and that's just natural order of things. So I just suggest that when you go into that. But I see all of my people out there doing so many great things, whether it's being entrepreneurs, being starting podcasts. A doctor, I mean, I just promoted her doctor. um no, wait, no. Dr. Shayna Godoy, yeah, she will be a doctor. She's getting an honorary doctorate. Kudos, Shayna. All right. She is an author and she is doing amazing. If you guys remember, she was on, she has her book, two books. Oh, she's on three, if not four, and the third children's book that she's on right now, Shayna Godoy and Godine. And so she is getting an honorary doctorate. So kudos to her. And also, they have a new children's book coming out. Her and my two goddaughters are having another book come out as well. And then, guess what? I delve into the realm of writing. So, yes, I have a chapter in the Relaunch Reform book that is coming out. Let me make sure I get it right, because I this is something that I am a part of, and I want to make sure that I'm mentioning it properly. So it is Reset and Relaunch Anthology. Reset and Relaunch Anthology. So that is something that is coming out, and I definitely will share that as we are getting closer and closer to it being finished. So I'm excited about that. So Dr. Diana Collins can add another publishing to her name. So and I say another because I published my research that I did to obtain my doctorate. So that's publishing number one. So now I'm on in this anthology. So that's published number two. Okay. So yes, I am a published author. So yes, for me. Okay. And as you guys know, resetting, relaunching by becoming. That's the name of it. I forgot about becoming. You have to mention becoming, because becoming is part of that. Because when you reset, you are just clearing out the cobwebs, you're making those changes, you're putting those changes in, you're taking out what didn't work and you're putting in something new. Or maybe you're looking at the outcomes for this, it's like, yeah, that didn't work, and you evaluating this. That's all about that resetting. That's that resetting. Okay. Now you got that whole piece with, and I'm saying for me, this is how I'm putting it together from my anthology piece. So that's the resetting for me. I am taking a step back and resetting and taking out what didn't work, redoing what I think will work, that worked well, and putting it back in, because you don't want to take out what worked well. You want to put what worked well back in there, and then taking out what didn't work, setting it aside. I don't ever get rid of what didn't work. What didn't work probably didn't work for that moment, but I save it for later because it may work later on down the road in some other part. So I never really truly get rid of what didn't work. I just set it aside and put it in a little box to save for later, to relook at and see, hey, let's see if I can reuse this, right? So I never really get rid of anything that I remove. And then you just sit there and you do a true evaluation of everything in front of you. And you be honest with yourself. Like, yeah, I really could have done this better. Yeah, I really could have spent more time pushing this out. And this is a conversation I have with myself constantly, whether it's pushing out the podcast, whether it's pushing out my skincare line and hair care line, whether it's pushing out Collins Education Resource Management, whether it's pushing out my acting. I need to be more diligent with it. And some of it has to do with finances. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with that. Some of it just really has to do with money, because everything that we see for ourselves and we need to do for ourselves takes capital. And sometimes capital is lucrative at hand, and sometimes that capital kind of dwindles away. And so that's some you have to look at that as well, right? And then when you're done with that whole resetting and you're ready, now it's time to relaunch. You've put the work in. Now it's time to set off and see where it goes. So now you're relaunching your podcast. Now you're relaunching your hair and skincare line. Now you're relaunching your business, your college education resource management. Now you're relaunching your acting career, right? And then once that relaunch, you have to maintain that dedication, that motivation to keep going. And I tell you, this is where it gets you every time. And I'm guilty of it. Okay, because I'm sitting in it right now. And if it wasn't because I wanted to get something new and I need to get my podcast season 7 out, I'd probably be sitting there watching CSI or something. There's no reason why I have to watch repeats of CSI. I know what the episode is. I can recite it myself. Okay? There's no reason. Why am I not showing up for myself? Why? And that's the conversations that you have with yourself in your true authentic position. And I'm sharing conversations that I currently have with myself. I had this conversation with myself before coming and sitting in front of this camera. Kid you not. I was sitting in front of the TV watching CSI, the original, okay, for the 100th time. I've seen them all. My kids are 27 and 28 years old. I've seen all the CSIs. I'm sitting there braiding their hairs. Please, I don't need to sit there and watch that. So what do? I get up, I set up my camera, I set myself up, and I said, "You're going to do it," because no one's going to do it for me. No, if I'm sitting around waiting for someone to do this for me, it'll be a cold day in hell, and I'll be in my grave, and still nobody going to do it for me. Okay, I need to get up and do it. So I had to have that conversation, and I have this conversation with myself every day. I can tell you, y'all know that meme where Kermit is sitting on the edge of the bed and just look like he really trying to think about his life. That one picture. Oh, I'm going to get a print of this picture and have it in my office, but it's of a woman. And I'm going to say she's a mom because it just hits me right there in that soul. She's got her pajamas on. She's got her hair wrapped, and you can see all the weight of the world on her shoulders as she's sitting on the edge of the bed with her head down. And I just, every time I see that picture, I just like, I know what she feels like. I am her. Okay. That is me. There's no reason why I can't show up for me. If I can get up in the morning at 4:30 to go get up and prepare to go sit at somebody's 9 to 5, why can't I do that for me? Why is it so hard that I can let myself down, but I can't let somebody else down? That part is what needs to change. And I say it to share it with you all out there, but I say it because I need to hear it for myself. I read motivations every day. Those of you who are in my circle, y'all get motivations from me every day. Those motivations that I send out to my friends in my circle are the same ones I sit and read for myself before I send it out. So it's not something that I just kind of, oh, this is good, like a meme. No, this is funny. No, I send out things that I feel I need to hear and I needed to see, and I share because I know there's somebody in my circle who needed it to see it, to hear it, to feel it. And so I share with them. And I think sometimes that's like, oh my God, I'm just sharing too much. They gonna be like, here she go again, sending me a message. Here she go again with this. And it's okay. They can ignore it, and I'm okay with that. Um, I'm okay with that. But I know I sent it with a good heart, and I felt like it was something that will lift their spirit as it has and tend to lift mine. So I need to have those conversations with me. So I share with you guys that yeah, as we're resetting and relaunching, when we get to that relaunch, we can't lose that motivation. We can't lose that dedication because nobody's going to be in that corner to push us along. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be waiting to say, hey, I knew that was going to fail. She did all that work. Yeah, she's been at this for a while. Yeah. There's always a naysayer. And it doesn't have to be in your camp because those of us who cleared out our camp, there shouldn't be naysayers around us. Okay. Any one of us who has truly cleared our camp and cleared our circle, there should not be a naysayer around us. It should be someone around us that said, I see you today. Mm-mm. I got friends that will call me, text me. Some of them text me because they know I ain't about to pick up the phone all the time. And I appreciate that they know that and love that about me and don't give up on me. But they will text me and we have our little hustler group. And Kathy will say, hey, how you doing, sis? And I'd be like, I'm okay. And it's a group of us. And then before I can even get to the next thing, Sandy's saying, that didn't sound good. You sure you're okay? And then Kathy's coming back. You sure you're okay? And then my little niecey's coming in there. Auntie, what's going on? That's the people you need in your corner. That's the people you need in your corner. And I love each and every one of them. I got individuals who are out there who I know they're struggling. Okay. My godson, love him dearly, struggles every day. And every day that he is responding to my messages, every day that he is saying, Mamacita, I'm here, I'm trying. I appreciate that. And I just encourage him to keep showing up for him. That's all you can do. Show up for you. Everybody else is going to always have an issue, but show up for you. That part. So, yeah, we're going to continue this, but I'm going to take a little quick break and we're going to talk about the reforming part of that. Oh, no, relaunching. I said resetting, relaunching was what we were talking about, relaunching, right? And then when we come back, I'm talking about becoming, that part, right? Because we'll talk about the becoming in a second. So hold on. The Soulful Eclectic with Dr. Diana Collins on WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. Brought to you by Divine Nubian Essentials, Love the Skin You're In, and Collins Education Resource Management, where education is our passion. And if you're looking for a good author and a good series, Hoodoo Heaven, Reggie Dupree has returned us to Hoodoo and Mystical Midlife Mate. WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV with the Soulful Eclectic every Friday, 6 p.m. on Roku TV and WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV and all your podcast streaming platforms. So, as we were saying, right? So, becoming. Becoming. What are you becoming? What you're becoming is totally up to you. Again, it goes back to those choices. You make the choice of where and who you want to become. You show up for you. Nobody can do that for you. We can try. We can have all the accountability partners we want. At the end of the day, if you don't want to show up, showing up changes how you're becoming outcomes end. Okay? It really does. Because if you don't show up, what are you going to become? You got to show up to become something, right? So when you look at becoming, you're taking all that you've been through with that reset, all that you've going through with relaunch, right? And now you're looking at what you're becoming. And I'm just going to use me as an example, right? At this point, I'm at I'm at a reset. I'm at a reset. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm at a reset for all of my businesses, all of me. Okay. I think the only thing that I'm not at a reset in is my acting. That's the only one I think I'm not at a, I'm not going to say I think. The only one thing I know I'm not at a reset in. Just me as an example. So, all my things I am in the process of looking at and making those changes, right? Part of that reset, part of that relaunching, and part of that becoming, which is where we are finishing my doctorate in nursing practice, is part of that becoming, right? Because that piece is done, and now I'm starting to see that underlaying of what I'm becoming. The other part of that is something that hit me this week. And I've been struggling with going back to a 9 to 5. And because I don't want to work for anyone else, I'm just going to be honest. I want to work for me. I want me to work for me. I want my hustle to be for me. Let me just say that. And it's going to be, it already is, and it's going to continue to be, and it's going to continue to grow. I'm speaking it into existence. I am manifesting that it's going to be. And I think that's why I keep saying monumentous, because that's the word that keeps resonating with me. Monumentous. It's going to be huge, right? And I feel it and I know it, and I just have to stay the course, right? So, with that, some of that is letting go of your ego. Y'all know that's the hardest thing to do because we got some big egos. We do. Okay. And I never thought I was one to have a big ego. For those who know me, to know where I came from, and as we as I become this bigger author that I will be, when my best-selling novel comes out, and New York Times bestseller book that I'm writing comes out, um, you're going to read more about that. But I was not this, confident. I'm going to be in front of the camera. I'm going to do all these things. Shit, I didn't even know I was going to be a doctor. Let's be real with it. I did not know. If someone was to tell me that, I was like, get out of your mind, right? Yeah, here we are. But here we are. Because I didn't give up on me. I showed up for me. I didn't wait for anybody else to validate me. I validated myself, and with my self validation got me here. My self validation got me here. Okay. And that it's important for me to say that, because to this day, I have a friend of mine, love her dearly, Sade. She is amazing. Another one of my mentees that I have, but she always jokes with me. She says, every time I talk to you, I expect this big person. And I don't mean big in size. Well, some of it is big in size, like height. She thinks, she says, you just, to me, when I talk to you and then, I see you, I forget how short in stature you are, because you just have this big presence, right? And I said, my big energy. I have big energy, and I never had big energy. Those who know me, I big energy was not me, not me. But it's me showing up for me. Being here is what is providing me that big energy. Okay. Validating me on a regular basis is what's giving me that big energy. I don't wait for somebody to tell me I look good. I don't wait for somebody to tell me I'm doing a good job. I see the work that I do. I see the outcomes of the work that I do. I just don't. Now it's me putting more work into the things that I do so that I can continue to work for me. But I got off topic. And you guys know it happens really quick. But I got off topic. So here's the thing. So now my big energy, big personality comes with a little bit of an ego. Ego. eh, Sigmund Freud, if you know psychology, we all possess a level of an ego. And mine is I want what I'm worth. And that's with anyone. Anybody wants to get paid what they're worth. Anybody wants to be given that what is owed to them and what they're worth. And I know people say I'm worth this, and I'm no, I know my worth, and you should know your worth too. And I I have to go back into the 9 to 5 workforce for a short period while I'm resetting, right? And as we talked about with resetting, and sometimes you find you need capital, and I don't have any angel funds that are downpouring into my businesses to believe in my vision. Okay. Yes, I have business plans. Yes, I have, these things, but there is not an angel fund that's pouring into the vision that I have. And that's okay, because not everyone has to see my vision and understand my vision. Long as I see it, because God gave it to me, not anybody else. It's my vision. So I have to do the work. And I recognize that. So with that, I am resetting. And with that, I got a big blow to the ego these past couple of weeks, because I've, finished a degree. Now I'm going out and I'm applying for jobs, because like I said, I have to go back into the 9 to 5. And now, if you I don't even know if I mentioned this, but I was working for another college doing online, but they're paying me well, but they wanted to monopolize my time, which left me a little bit of time, if not no time, to do my podcasting, to do my businesses, on the outside, to do my acting, and no bueno. That's not good. That's no good for me. So I had to let them go, but I let them go for other reasons too. Not just that. That was one, but two, they weren't kind to students, and that doesn't flow with me. You can't say you're for student success and then treat students like crap. Mm-mm. Doesn't work for me. So it's really on principle that I left, and I feel like I shot myself in the foot with that, but it is what it is. I felt better after doing it. I felt lighter. I didn't, because it was really making me sick to my stomach to be a part of that. But I let that go. So with that, I have to. I'm looking for another position, and I'm searching. I'm putting my feelers out. I'm putting my curriculum vitae out there, which is my CV resume, which is a little longer than your typical resume. So I'm putting it out there, and no one's biting, or the ones that are biting, they want more of a commitment than I'm willing to give, because I'm very transparent. I'm like, I don't want to be here like that. I love the students and I love to be a part of their journey, but I don't want to be here Monday through Friday. I just really don't. And I don't see a reason why I have to. And I've done this education piece for 14, 15 years. And I know I don't have to be here Monday through Friday. So for you to make it so, yeah. And people have this thing, because they're paying you more money, they expect you to do whatever they tell you to do. And I don't rock like that. And maybe I can blame my husband for part of this part of me, because there was a part of me once upon a time that would have just said, yeah, fine. All right, fine. You're paying me. I can stick it out for whatever. But yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. I just kind of bow out gracefully and figure it out in between there. But anyways, So what happened was had to go back into the workforce, and now I'm looking for jobs, and this one university reached out, and it was everything. It is everything. I get to be with students. I get to do equity and inclusion. I get to be in the classroom. I get to do a little bit of clinical, and they're not monopolizing my time. Catch is, they're not also paying me a lot either. There's that, right? So I've been grappling with that for about 2 weeks now. Kid you not, right? Um, And so finally get the offer letter, and it's like, oh, yep, it's true. It's true. They really just want to pay me this. Okay. So I talk about it with my husband because it impacts both of our lives. So I'm like, okay, I just want to be, and I was very transparent with them because my daughter's pregnant. So I plan to be there for the birth and be there for this. So I just kind of like, how's that going to work? What's going to happen? So, needless to say, I accepted it, but only after reading one of my mindful quotes in the morning. And this one is what made me go ahead and just sign. Okay. So, remember, I was talking about ego, right? So, this mindful tip of the day, and there's a couple of them that go through from this counselor that's on Instagram. I think it's FYR Counseling. If you're ever interested, I don't know anything about them. I just know that they have really great quotes that they put out there. So if you're into mindful quotes, they're pretty good. But and I say that to give people credit because I don't want to read people's stuff and not give them credit. So this came from Instagram, and they are FYR Counseling. That's the credit to them. So this mindful quote was, it's time to put your ego aside and do what needs to be done. I said, who in their right? I said, see the universe. Ooh, seriously? Because it all was ego. Guys, it really was ego. And it is ego because I still feel it in my soul. See, I'm talking about it with you. And so I still feel it, obviously, right? So it really is all ego. But it said it's time for you to put your ego aside and do what needs to be done. What more do I need the universe to say to me with that? Because that is so true. Here it is. I'm sitting here renting this house, and I want my own house again. I've had my house before, and I want my house back, right? So I want my businesses to thrive. I want all these things to happen, and I'm going to say this in a different way. Okay, so you heard me just say I want. Here it is. I'm getting my house. So this is what's happening. My businesses are thriving. So this is what I need, right? That's what I need. My podcast is soaring. So this is what I need. So it's time for me to put my ego aside and do what needs to be done because right now, this is what needs to be done. I need to go back into a 95 for a short period of time to do this reset. I need to go back into a 9 to 5 for this short period of time for this relaunch because this relaunch is going to be, my word again, monumentous. Damn it. Right? So pride won't pay your bills. Hot damn. I was like, what? What, God, I know this is you. This is the universe right here. Because pride won't pay your bills. It won't. Let's be honest. That shit ain't gonna pay your bills. I've been sitting on pride for some time now. And it's only been the grace of God that our bills are getting paid. My husband, he works his ass off. That's how our bills are getting paid. But pride won't pay your bills. And I have to understand that. I have to put my ego aside and know pride is not going to pay my bills. I have to know that excuses won't move me forward. Hello. Okay. Yes, I'm going to say it. We ain't in church, but hello, can I hear an hallelujah amen on that one? Okay. Because I just said in the beginning of this podcast, right? I have to be accountable to me as much as I am accountable to every other business. If I can get up and do something for someone else, why is it that I always have an excuse for me? for showing up for me. There's no reason why I have an excuse for why I'm not showing up for me. Why is it so easy to give ourselves excuses? I don't understand. And I'm having this conversation for me with you guys about this. Why is it that we are so quick to accept excuses from ourselves? Oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's been a long day. I really didn't sleep well. But as soon as one of our friends say they need us, as soon as that job calls, as soon as our spouse says that they need something, as soon as one of our kids, our babies want something, we are up, we're moving the world to get that shit done. But for us, we're like, yeah, we're good. I can do it tomorrow. I can shift things and yeah, it really doesn't need to be done right now. Excuses won't move you forward. Excuses aren't moving me forward. Excuses is what keeps you stagnant. And I have to look at myself and say, why are you using these excuses now? You've been through three different, uh, in 3 different degrees. You've had 5 different degrees that you went to school for. Not one time did you use an excuse. You raised your kids. Not one time did you use an excuse. But now, when it's truly just about you and getting what you need to be done, get done, and what needs to be done, you have every excuse in the book. That's not going to move you forward. It's not going to move me forward. And I have to understand that and recognize that. The next thing is sometimes the hardest step is the one that humbles you. Hot damn. I was like, what humbles you? Sometimes the hardest step is the one that humbles you. And by God, if this is not humbling, this is a humbling situation right now. And yes, I'm excited. Yes, you have the most animated version of me today that you have ever seen. All right. Because when I say my mind was blown with this mindful tip of the day, I said, God, you did this. Universe did this. Okay. Because there's nothing, sometimes the hardest step is the one that humbles you. This whole job is humbling me. Can we just say that? And it's not because of having to go back to work. That's a part of it, right? That's a part of it. But it's all the other pieces that go with it that I have to ask permission again to take time off, that I have to get permission to do these things, that I have to rearrange a schedule to do these things yet again. And that's humbling. But the icing on the cake is the pay. That's the humbling. Sometimes the hardest step is the one that humbles you. Mm. But it's also the step that will set you free. God damn. Yes. That's the step. That right there. That is my motivation. Because even though I'm taking a blow to the ego, I'm taking a blow to my pride, and I am being humbled yet again, because it's not the first time that I've been humbled. Okay. But I am being humbled to this point. But I know something great is coming. I know something monumentous, my word again, is coming, because it's also the step that will set you free. Oh, okay. That's what I needed to hear. So I can swallow this pill just a little bit better, because I know there's something better out there, something great coming, and because I need to see this and be here and do this to prepare me for that greatness that's coming, right? It's also the step that will set you free. So, what do you got to do? Get out of your own way, right? I have to tell myself, get out of your own way, Diana. Get out of your own way, Dr. Diana Collins. Get out of your way and focus. That reset, that relaunch, that's also focus on what truly matters. What matters? Being present, my health, my wealth, my financial stability, my children. I know this, and there's no real order to this. It's not number one, number two, number three. So please don't think I value one over the other. No, I'm just thinking on the spot what matters to me, right? Being able to see my grandchild whenever I so choose, spending time with my family, traveling, having a home. Okay, not just a house that I live in, but a home that I can call home, right? Having my businesses thrive and flourish in the manner which I see, because I see the greatness. It's just getting there. It's just getting there. And that's where you stumble and you fall because you lose focus, right? You focus on the wrong things. You focus on the things that don't matter. Now I just have to refocus on the things that matter, right? Focus on what truly matters. Okay. And then when you let go of the need to protect your image, what in the world is that? So, for me, this is how this works for me, protecting my image. I'm Dr. Diana Collins. My image is this: I am a healthcare professional, I'm a mom, I am a wife, I am a veteran. Okay. I'm a podcaster, I'm an actress. That is me. That's my image, right? So let go of the need to protect my image, right? Because nobody sees my image more than myself. Okay. And then it says you gain the strength to take action and make real progress. I'm ready to make real progress. I've made some progress. And I don't, and here's the thing. I just want to say I'm ready to make real progress. I've made real progress because I wouldn't be here if I did not make real progress. So I've made real progress, but there is more. When you let go of the need to protect your image, you gain the strength to take action and make real progress. Watch out, because here I come. That's all I'm saying. Watch out, because here I come. Progress is on. It is on. So, becoming. That's all about that becoming piece, right? Letting go of your ego, letting go of your pride, being able to be humbled, focus on what matters so that you get out there and do what it is that you need to do. That was my message to me. I'm sharing the message to you because somebody out there needed to hear that. I don't know who. If you know who needs to hear it, please do share with me that you needed to hear it. And I would appreciate that completely because I know I'm not the only one that needed to hear that. I have many entrepreneur souls that are out there, many people who are starting businesses, who are in their businesses 3 years, who are at that 5-year mark with their business, whatever, 10-year, you had to rename the business, you had to do whatever it is. We're all at some stage. This reset, relaunch, and you're becoming. I'm at the relaunch stage for some of it. For a lot of it, I'm at resetting. For one piece of it, I start to see the becoming. Yeah, it's great. It's work. It's work. And if we're so willing to work for someone else, do the work for yourself. You'll be amazed at the results. I'm amazed at the results. I still to this day wonder how I got here. And I tell anyone it's the grace of God because I could not tell you how I walk these steps. Some things I feel like I am just a visitor in my body through some of this. Yeah. I really don't know. Some people, I have mentees who ask how'd I do all this? How am I doing all this? Not without making mistakes. Let me say that, not without making mistakes. I made some. Mhm. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a big girl. I can admit that. I have no problem admitting my mistakes. I have no problems admitting when I'm wrong. That's that growth, right? I don't have a problem with it. Um, yeah, it's just life. But I know one thing, it's my testimony. It's my testimony. So with this, I'm going to leave you with this because I've already talked to you for like over an hour. So there's a pastor when I was going to church. I'm going to say probably 20 years ago because my kids are 27. So probably stopped going to church probably when they were about 7, 8 years old. So it was a minister of music at the time who was going to become a pastor, finishing his divination. I think it's what it's called. Please don't quote me on that. But he was finishing to become a pastor. And he did his sermon at the church. And the song the choir sang, and I was in the choir, is one of the it's actually the first part of my anthology. And it's this. This is a verse of the song. As I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I have a testimony. And I'm not like super religious. I'm a very spiritual person. I like I said, once upon a time I was in church every Sunday religiously. I was in the choir, I was on the usher, the kids were in the ushers, they were in the choir. So we were deep in the church at one point. So now I'm just religious, but that's something that sticks with me to this day. This is the testimony. All that I've been through, all the resetting, all the mistakes, all the learned situations, because I don't like to say it was a mistake. It was a lesson that I needed to learn from. Um, all of that is my testimony to why and how I'm here. Yeah, it's my testimony. So, with that, look for the book Reset, Relaunch, and Becoming. That will be coming out. I'm going to say probably January. I'll have some copies by January. I know we're doing the book tour and everything in the coming months. So, look for it with that. Thank you again to all my participants, all my individuals who came and were guests on the show. I look forward to talking to you again. Reach out to me. You definitely can send me a text message. Well, some of you have my phone number, so you can send me a text message. That's perfectly fine. But for most of you, you can reach me at thesoulfuleclectic.com. That's the website. You can reach me at WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you haven't downloaded the app on your phone, on Apple and Google Play or Roku TV, it's only on Roku, guys. So you can download the app on Roku. You can find me on there. And also, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube. Now, my YouTube channel is under Mystique 1569. I know I started it way back, not knowing how and what I was doing, and now it's run rampant. And I just keep it as Mystique 1569. It's nostalgic for me. There's two things about that, right? Mystique is one of my favorite Marvel characters because she can be a chameleon. She turns into this anybody. So I love Mystique. I have several favorite Marvel characters. Mystique is one of them. 1569. Hey, that was my grandma's address, and she's my love, one of my favorite people. She's with me everywhere. If you guys, I'll show you the picture so that you guys see. She sits with me, and this is actually my auntie. She passed away first. I'm gonna go this way. This is my auntie. She passed away for breast cancer, much young, too young. This is my grandma. She passed away again, much too young. Um, and then this is my mom. She's still here. She's still here. And so these, and my aunt, who is not in this picture, is also still here. And I have two uncles that are still here, you know, and all other family and so forth and so on. But anywho, those are my angels that sit with me along with my other ancestors. But I say that as the, you know, to say that they carry me through, but I digressed again. So Mystique 1569 was my grandma's address. 1569 was the number of the house. So it stays with me. So that's what the page is for YouTube. That long-winded explanation for me to say that. Okay, the YouTube page for the Soulful Eclectic does not say the Soulful Eclectic. It says Mystique 1569. Darn it. And I cannot figure out how to change it. So that's what it stays. So yeah, so please reach out. Again, DC at the Soulful Eclectic is my email address. DC at the soulfuleclectic.com is the email address. The soulfuleclectic.com is the web address. And then you can definitely find me on the Soulful Eclectic on Instagram and DC the Soulful Eclectic on Facebook. Reach me either way and let me know, you know. I have a blog as well. So if you're a writer and you want to share your material, definitely you will get credit. I will post you on our blog series as well. So with that, I want to say thank you again for your time. I appreciate you so much. If this is again the first time you've come in and you listen, thank you for starting out with season 7, but I urge you to catch up and go back and listen to the other seasons, whatever resonates with you. And please share what if you think someone else can benefit from it. But with that, thank you for those who are just joining for the first time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And for those of you who are coming back as a tribe, thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome back, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. So please continue to take care of yourself first, and each other. And show up and show out for you. Because I know damn well I'm showing up and showing out for me. And let me know if you need a cheerleader. I come and show up and show out for you too. I can be your cheerleader in the corner. Hey, because you are amazing. Okay. And you don't need me or anybody else to tell you that, but you are amazing. And as long as you know it, that's all that matters. So with that, I just say, you guys are amazing. Thank you again for your time. Take care of yourself and each other. Namaste.